Hi, I'm Mike Rizzo.
And I'm Michelle Rizzo.
And this is Northwest Brew Talk. Welcome to Northwest Brew Talk, the #1 podcast on Washington beer, brought to you by Micro Homebrew, located in Kenmore. This is episode 71. Each and every week, we promote the Washington brewing industry by talking to those people involved and drinking Washington beer. If you like Washington beer, learn about the people behind it on our show. This week on the Micro Homebrew interview, we talk with Chief Springs Fire and Irons Brewpub. We have our brew news and local music from Brad Yaeger. With over 300 breweries, we try to highlight as many as possible every episode. If you're new to the show, we suggest you check out our back catalog with some great interviews and lots of Washington beer.
If you have any comments or questions, feel free to send us an email to nwbrewtalk@gmail.com. We are on Twitter at nwbrewtalk and on Facebook at facebook.com/nwbrewtalk. If you like the show and want to support us, share our link and tell your friends on social media. It takes just a few to start a revolution. To start the show, let's open up our first beer of this episode from Skookum Brewery, located in Arlington. They're open Wednesday through Sunday and are for 21 and over only. We're drinking their Mammoth Jack Imperial IPA. Double IPA brewed with a touch of rye and massively dry hopped with Yakima Valley hops. Grapefruit, pine, herbal, and fruity flavors / aroma. 8.3% ABV and an untapped rating of 3.94.
Lots of fruity smells here.
Very light color for...
Yeah, it is. It's a light one. It is cloudy. That must be the type that they do there.
Yeah.
And it says dangerously approachable on the bottle. It does have a nice aroma to it. It's got a nice white head on it.
Very piney. You can definitely taste that pine.
Where is the pine? You know, I cannot taste pine.
It might just be one of those flavors. You know,
it is.
They say that your tongue has to, adjust all the different flavors and learn the new things. So
Double IPA, yeah.
Yeah. You can
taste some alcohol in this one, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's a 8.3, so it's pretty high.
Yeah.
It's good. I like it a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Pretty dry. It other than the higher alcohol content, it all dissipates kind of quick. I do like the picture of the burrow with the I don't know what he is, some old guy.
Yeah, that's why you were confused about whether it was a jar or a...
Yeah,
it looks
a jar.
It looks like it would be on a moonshine.
Mammoth Jack. I'm guessing that's who that is, or it could be the burrow, I guess. All right, and now on to our brew news.
Topping this week's news, the biggest beer festival in Washington, the Washington Brewers Festival, takes place this weekend, June 17th through the 19th. The 11th annual event will feature more than 500 beers from 110 Washington breweries.
I do not think we'll be able to try them all.
I don't think so. It would be quite a feat to try them all.
I think we'd be dead.
Well, just a little sip.
Sip of 500
over 3 days. Over 3 days.
That's a lot still.
It is a lot. You're right. It's quite a bit. And to think that that's only a third of the breweries that we have in the state.
Oh, exactly.
That's crazy.
No, and we're gonna talk about the Washington Brewers Awards too, and that is that goes along with that because a lot of them feel that since only a handful of breweries in the state submit their beer, it's not a quote unquote fair representation.
Well, I mean, anybody is open to it, though. It's not like they say we'll only accept the first, 110 breweries to.
No, exactly, and I think they had 900 beers.
Anyhow, back to the story. It takes place at Marymore Park in King County. 3-day event features beer, food trucks, live music, and the results of Washington Beer Awards and the infamous keg toss. The Friday event is 21 and over, but Saturday and Sunday are all ages. The inaugural Washington Beer 5K will take place on Sunday morning, June 19th. Get your dad and come out to the festival this weekend. Our book, Washington Beer, is now available. You will also find us at the Washington Brewers Festival Father's Day weekend, signing books and promoting Northwest Brew Talk. will be in Tacoma on July 16th at King's Books and Wingman Brewers, and in Spokane August 6th at Auntie's Bookstore. If you're interested in carrying the book or hosting an event, contact us today.
Are you a fan of Mortal Kombat? The video game started in 1992. Well, Mortal Kombat X, released in 2015, is about to have its own craft, or we should say, indie beer. Sound Brewery of Polsbo is brewing these 3 new beers: Sub-Zero Imperial IPA, Raiden Imperial Saison, and Scorpion Imperial Stout. Available in 22-ounce bottles very soon. Brickyard Brewing in Woodinville co-founder Ian Forget recently split with his partner over business differences. Since that time, the brewery has announced they are building a new 15-barrel brew house at their Woodinville location and will stop the alternating brewing arrangement they had with another local brewer. In addition, they are opening a new location in North Bend. They will have 20 taps and 2 fermenters for some on-site beer making at that location. The Woodinville location is being remodeled, and they hope to have the North Bend location open by July 1st.
This past weekend marked the 4th anniversary of Bainbridge Brewing. Congrats to them. Growler Garage in Olympia will be celebrating their 1st anniversary with giveaways, specials, and more on Saturday, June 25th from 12 to 10 p.m. Ghost Fish Brewing Company, the only dedicated gluten-free brewery in Seattle, announced they're adding a full kitchen. And for you gluten-free people, it will be entirely gluten-free. They're planning items like tacos, fresh oysters, pulled pork sliders, and some desserts, as well as keeping a few of the most popular pizzas they've been serving. Sounds exciting.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a pretty awesome thing.
It is. They were serving pizza from a few other locations, but they're going to go full board.
And I hope that their gluten-free food tastes as good as their gluten-free beers.
Yeah, exactly. I bet you it will.
Yeah, I'm betting so. Melvin Brewing of Jackson, Wyoming was founded by Mount Vernon native Jeremy Toft. Toft and his award-winning brewery recently started distribution in Seattle area, but have even bigger plans for Washington. They'll be opening a new brewery in Bellingham. They promise to keep us apprised as they build the new brewery, and we'll let you know as soon as we have more information.
Pike Brewing has a new contest, the iconic Seattle Weekend Photo Contest. Simply snap and share a photo of Pike Space Needle IPA in your favorite places between now and September 6th and tag it with hashtag Space Needle IPA to be entered. The grand prize winner gets a 2-night stay at the luxurious Inn at the Market, dinner for 2 at the Space Needle's Sky City restaurant, and a behind-the-scenes brewery tour, tasting, and lunch at Pike Brewing Company.
That's exciting.
It definitely is. Get all the details at PikeSpaceNeedleIPA.com. And lastly this week, 10 Pin Brewing of Moses Lake is nearing completion of their brand new 30-barrel brew house. In addition to that accomplishment, they will start bottling and distributing their beer in Western Washington. Initial capacity at the new brewery will be 7,500 barrels per year, with definite room to grow. And look for us at the Washington Brewers Festival this weekend and say hi. Next week, we will have the results of the Washington Beer Awards and full coverage of the festival. And that is it for the Brew News this week.
Welcome to Building a Brewery with Bob and Jesse from Figurehead Brewing.
We're talking again with our friends from Figurehead Brewing, Jesse and Bob. And how are you guys moving along with your construction project?
We're doing good. We're moving along. So the big news is in the last week we launched our Kickstarter campaign.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, we're shooting for $13,000 to help build out the bar and the glassware and finish out the tap room. And we've already got over 11,000, so we're already a little over 8% of the way to our goal.
Wow, that is awesome. That is
Just
great.
a couple days.
Yeah, that's great. So you've got some people interested in seeing you guys open, huh?
Yeah, well, it's pretty humbling, really, to see all the support we got out there. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's great.
We're pretty excited about that. And hopefully we can reach our goal and go beyond the goal. So we got to figure out what we want to do if we get some stretch goals and go beyond our target.
Yeah, definitely. So what else? How's the construction aspect of it coming along?
That's coming really well. I was off for 3 weeks and I was able to knock out a bunch of stuff. our glycol, I keep saying glycol because I've been working on the glycol constantly forever, but we got our control system is totally done, works. All the piping is done, but we haven't filled it up with water yet. We've been distracted by some final permitting for electrical and plumbing and some other stuff. We got all our sinks in, bar roughed in, and lights installed. Got our dishwasher installed. Oh, our dishwasher. Yeah, that's when you mean business when you got a dishwasher.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and then,
I thought the toilet was you meant business.
Sorry again?
I thought it was when you got the toilet that you meant business.
Oh, yeah, actually, yeah, realistically and figuratively. we got 1,500 pounds of grain sitting in the middle of our quote-unquote tap room.
Oh, great.
Which we can smell as we walk by that thing. It actually smells like beer. So it's we're hoping to get brewing this week, hopefully.
Oh, wow.
And we got our shipment of yeast as well. It's in my fridge right now. So
right.
That as well.
So every time you have one of these new permitting, is that another financial outlay?
Typically the permit is included in the price that the contractor gives us.
Okay.
We'll permit and do the final inspection and all that.
Okay.
But yeah, it does cost us money. Yeah.
Right.
And when you pull the permit, like a plumbing permit, for example, it's like a 5-part permit. They come out and inspect the ground before you can cover it, and they inspect. They inspect the rough and then the groundwork, and then anyway, along the way they inspect a lot of different things. So you always have inspectors, kind of the same inspector coming back in and signing the next part, and then they come back and sign the next part, and then they can sign the final part.
Okay.
So
yeah.
You can inspect someplace.
Okay, well, that's cool. So what? So you're looking at hopefully brewing in the next week. So looking like you're still on schedule for opening.
Right now we are. We got a little bit of a buffer built into our schedule that we're gradually eating away at. But yeah, we're still shooting for end of July, hopefully. Okay,
awesome. So what are you working on next then?
Well, I've got we're still working on our kettle, and you remember our ongoing ventilation saga. Yeah. So we're still working with that, but we do have our. It was actually a huge big deal. We got our exhaust for the kettle in. And that's installed. So that's a really big deal. I have to fabricate the flange for the burner, which I've almost got done. Oh, okay. And then we have our condensate exhaust in. So that's really the last part. Once the condensate exhaust is in, and the roofer comes out, which is just an afternoon's worth of work, then we're ready to fire everything up. Nice. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Sounds like things are progressing nicely.
Yes, they are. We almost got a door on our walk-in cooler too. So.
Oh, okay, cool.
That should be very soon.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife was out visiting for 3 months, and 3 weeks, and it's really the only 3 weeks she's gonna spend at home. And she was down at the brewery with me every day, and we spent a full 2.5 days of I don't know, we called it a date, but all we were doing was laying fiberglass with our respirators for 2.5 solid days. It was sort of horrible and kind of fun at the same time.
Yeah. Sure. It was quality time, right?
It was quality time. Absolutely. Yeah. We talked for our rest, but we know what each other can. We're itchy and angry.
All right. Awesome. Well, guys, sounds like things are looking really good, and so we're looking forward to hearing next time that you fired up and maybe you're brewing.
Yeah, and if anybody's interested in being part of what we're doing, check out our Kickstarter page. You can just search for Figurehead Brewing on Kickstarter or find it on our Facebook page.
Yeah, we'll put a link up too then for you.
Yeah, we got some cool stuff on there, like you can do a pre-opening private tour or name a beer and help us create a recipe and brew it. Yeah, so check it out.
Awesome. All right. Well, Jesse and Bob from Figurehead Brewing, thank you very much for joining us again.
Thanks, Mike and Michelle. Thanks, Michelle.
Welcome back to Northwest Brew Talk. If you want to submit news to Northwest Brew Talk, send us an email to nwbrewtalk@gmail.com. Or if you've not yet subscribed to our podcast, why not do it now? It's free, available anywhere you listen to podcasts, including iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, and TuneIn Radio.
On this week's Micro Homebrew interview, we are talking to Chief Springs Fire and Irons Brewpub.
Okay, we're talking with Mike from Chief Springs Brewing you're in Dayton, right?
Correct.
All right. Now, you took over a previous brewery, so why don't you tell us about that?
Well, we had looking for retirement up in Dayton area, and had always dreamed about owning a tavern, not necessarily a brew pub. I had homebrewed for 12 years or so, and was interested in it. And we heard about the opportunity with Sky Book and Brew. And Mike and McQuarrie and his wife owned it, and started talking to him. But it took 2 years. He was interested, but not really, and hated giving it up. And so
Sure.
it took a while to get everything put together, and for him really to be convinced that he wanted to sell it.
Right. So you took over and opened in February 2013, right?
That's correct.
All right. So that's 3 years now. So how's it been going?
Been going excellent. We spent a lot of time remodeling, and we upgraded the brewery. It's in the basement of the pub, and did some extensive remodeling down there, putting in trench drains and upgrading the glycol system, and just overall remade the brewery in the basement.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So
It was an adventure.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, the remodel part always seems to be the plumbing and all that drainage.
Yeah.
The drainage seems to be a big thing for everyone too.
Yeah. You got to have a place to wash everything down.
Yeah, definitely. So you said you homebrewed for 12 years. So did you start out doing extract like a lot of people do?
I did. I started out doing extract, and then actually started doing whole grain. I joined the brew club in Tri-Cities when I was fire chief in West Richland.
Okay.
And there was many members that were, holy smokes, have huge systems in their garages and buildings built especially to brew. And, and so I learned a lot doing that. And then also Ice Harbor Brewing did an annual, it's called Get Brew, for the Home Brew Club.
Mm-hmm.
And we would go and use their equipment and help, we would sit down with the brewer and made up a recipe. And so it was a lot of fun, and enjoyed that. And then after that, I started going around to a few different breweries, picking everybody's brain. Again, not thinking that I was going to own a brewery, just trying to be a better home brewer.
Right.
So it actually worked out well, because I kept learning, and I bought just about everything that you could read about brewing, and read it. Just kept interested in it up until the point we bought this place, and now I actually get to do some of the things that I dreamed of doing.
Yeah, nice. So, how long after you were homebrewing did you get into doing grain?
Probably a couple of years. It was so easy with the extract.
Yeah.
That made it really easy, and at the time didn't have access to a grinder, and then Ice Harbor, their home brew shop, has a grinder, so you can go in and buy the amount of grain you want and run it right through their mill.
Oh, nice.
And so you can just, take your 5-gallon bucket down there with you, and you end up with your grain, which is, it's something, a pretty big investment for a small home brewer, is a mill, and then, making a mash tun was kind of foreign, and how to do it, they helped with that, so it was easy.
Right.
They knew what to do, and you go, oh, well, I didn't know it was going to be this simple.
Mm-hmm. So, when you were homebrewing, what kind of beers did you like to brew for yourself?
I still do. I like the ambers and the browns.
Okay.
And
I veered off the path on just about everything under the sun, though. I had sessions and I tried different fruit beers, but I always tended to go back to the ambers and the brown, and still enjoy those. It's just a good drinkable beer.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people enjoy them. I do like a blonde, and we have a blonde that I do based on one of my home recipes. It's a honey wheat beer.
Okay.
And it's a real nice light, and it's not so much honey that you're overpowered with the honey. It gives it a nice sweet flavor.
Okay. Now, would that be a beer that you would point to somebody that normally doesn't drink craft beer?
Definitely. That's how we've gotten a lot of the locals to come and be long-term patrons, is brewing a real mild, not too hoppy, real nice blonde. And it's called Pike Bowl Honey is what it's called in my brew pub.
Mm-hmm.
And it has converted a lot of the traditional drinkers over to microbrew.
Right.
So, and they still drink it. They don't change.
No, that's good. At least they're drinking yours, though, right?
Exactly. Yeah. When I first bought it, I had quite a few people come in and say, you just bought a brew pub in Coors Light country.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah. I said, but come here, let's take a sample. And you won't go back drinking Coors Light.
Yeah, that's good. It's always good when you can convert somebody over that didn't think that they liked, a craft beer.
Right. That and their idea of a craft beer is high hops and dark.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
They don't understand that you can brew the whole variety.
Right. So go ahead.
We have a lot of local farmers that grow grain crops. It's grain crop country here.
Mm-hmm.
So I've incorporated local wheat. We only buy Washington Black, which is grown actually in the area here.
Oh, nice.
And buy local honey. So I think that's also helped the locals and the farmers go, oh, well, he's supporting us. We better support him.
Yeah.
And then they have a beer and they go, oh, and this is good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's probably interesting to see something else that could be done with their wheat that is tasty too.
Yeah, we had a relief wheat on tap, just blew the last keg of it, but it was brewed with wheat out of a relief wheat elevator that's just north of town.
Nice.
So fun stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. That, like you said, that probably really does help with the local community, making it all tie together.
Yeah, it does.
So, did I read correct that you kept some of previous owners' recipes?
That was part of the deal. In fact, I had brewed on or helped brew on other systems, but he stayed and helped me brew my first 10 batches and helped me with some of my initial recipes. But yes, I bought, a non-competitive type deal. I didn't want him to turn around and start up, so I bought all of his recipes with the business.
Okay, nice.
And I've referred back to him here and there. There's only so many ales you can brew, and some of them are similar to his, but I don't use his recipes. I use mine.
Right. So, how big is your system that you brew on?
It's a 3.5 barrel system, and I currently have 2 fermenters and 2 bright tanks. I'm in the process of buying a 3rd fermenter.
Okay.
I can't keep up.
Yeah, I was going to say, how many days or how many batches are you brewing?
Well, I'm brewing once a week. That's all I can do with the 2 fermenters.
Okay.
They're always full.
Okay.
So the minute it goes to a bright tank, I brew again and fill the fermenter back up.
Right. So how many beers do you keep on tap then?
Well, at times I've had up to 9 beers.
Really?
But what happens is they fall off because I can't keep that 9 beers in, brewing once a week. It just doesn't work.
Right.
So they go on and off. The regulars that I keep is this honey wheat, an amber, a brown, a stout, and a Scottish.
Okay.
Those are, if I'm running low on those, that's the next batch to go in the fermenter. So, and our Scottish is well liked, and we have it at a couple of restaurants here in the local area. We had it up at the ski resort along with the honey, and just sold the heck out of it all winter long.
So you have some minor distribution then too?
Yeah, just real local. Currently within 15 miles is all. Just not trying to reach out because I can't keep up with demand. I have requests over in Tri-Cities and Walla for my beer to be on tap, but there's no way I can do it at my current size.
Right.
The volume of beer we're selling here out of this art pub.
Right. So is there any plans in the future to upgrade the system?
Yeah, I'm actually in talks with the Port of Columbia County. They're building in the process of going out to bid for an additional food. They have an artisan food center it was a small business incubator.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been in the process of talking whether they would build me a space or not, whether we can afford to, and look at going to either a 7 or a 10 barrel system.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'd be a big jump.
Yeah, well, if I filled all the requests right now, I don't know that a 7 barrel would be big enough.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
I don't think I would be able to keep up even with that.
Yeah.
So I'm in the process of advertising for an assistant brewer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, just washing kegs, and the great thing about a basement brewery is the temperatures stay real consistent. The bad thing is everything has to be packed in and out of the basement.
Right. Well, that's some good news that you'd be able to do that, and looking towards expanding. So you'd keep the brew pub and you'd just have like a production facility then, or would you?
Just an off-site production facility. It may have a small tasting room up front.
Right.
Based on the zoning, it may have to.
Right.
So, and people love coming and watching you brew. I have people come and volunteer for me all the time.
Oh, really?
But they want to see the process.
Yeah. Well,
and some of them are home brewers, and some are just interested.
Right. So what is your biggest seller then?
The biggest seller is the Pike Pole Honey, the honey wheat beer.
Oh, it is. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, it's different. You talk to different breweries in different places, and some places it's a brown, some places it's an IPA. The community really, I think, is the determining factor in a lot of those cases.
It is. Yeah. Our second biggest seller is the Scottish.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. And then our amber, and then the brown, and then the IPA. And
so
we have some die-hard IPA people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all they'll drink, and they love it, but they aren't the majority.
Right, which is different for the Northwest for sure.
Yeah. You talk to anybody else, and they're like, well, is there something wrong with your IPA? Or?
Yeah. Yeah, and then also your two favorites are not even your best sellers. Your amber and your brown.
That's right. Yeah. They're about third and fourth on the line.
Yeah.
So, which is okay. It makes sure I don't run out personally.
Yeah, they're definitely. So, is your community, is it primarily, is that your customer base, basically the community, or do you get tourists through there?
I would say 80% of our customer base is drive-through tourists.
Really?
Yeah. Our town is only 2,500 people population.
Okay.
And we have a huge amount of recreational cabins around in the foothills of the Blues.
Okay.
The ski resort. There's steelhead, salmon fishing, trout fishing, hiking, biking. So a lot of tourists come through.
Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting.
It's a lot of fun. And some of them are, they're not just tourists once a year. They're tourists every other weekend.
Right.
So we consider them our regulars, but they don't live here. They live in Walla Walla or Tri-City.
Okay. So, on to your other career. How long were you a firefighter?
I was a firefighter for 37 years.
Nice. And how long were you chief?
Well, I was chief in College Place starting in 1997, and then I moved to West Richland, was the chief out there, and then I was a battalion chief out at Hanford the last 4 years.
Oh, okay.
So from 97 to last year,
okay.
I was a fire chief.
You retired last year?
I did.
All right. Well, congratulations on that.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of either my wife said, you either retire or we sell.
Yeah.
I'm not going to run this all the time by myself.
So you figured time to become a full-time brewer then?
Yeah. Well, it was. It was killing me. I was really working two full jobs.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it.
Yeah, we hear.
So it wasn't just her.
Sure. We hear that a lot from startups, working their full-time job plus that, working 60, 80 hours a week. It's got to be a grinding situation for a while.
Yeah. Well, financially, you want to make sure you're going to make it before you give up for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop. And we ended up buying a pizza parlor right next door to us.
Oh, okay.
Buying the business and the building, and so we double whammied ourselves there. We're really running two separate businesses, but it's worked out really good.
Sure.
We have our pizza on our menu in the pub, and it seems when one has an up day, the other one has a down day, and so they balance each other out real well.
Well, that's good. That's good.
And we did buy all the recipes for the pizzas when we bought the business, and it was great pizza to start out with. So
okay. So you bought those too. So you bought all the beer and all the pizza recipes.
That's right.
You don't want any
Yeah,
you don't want any competition.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, Mike from Chief Springs in Dayton, thanks very much for talking with us today. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you for calling. Really appreciate you having us.
All right. Thank you to Mike from Chief Springs for joining us today.
If you're a home brewer looking for a great shop to buy your homebrew ingredients and equipment, why don't you check out Micro Homebrew in Kenmore? Tony and his staff are always happy to help a new or experienced homebrewer find what they need. At Micro Homebrew, they're proud to carry over 100 hop varieties. Visit them today at 17511 68th Avenue Northeast in Kenmore, or find them on Facebook at Micro Homebrew. When you stop in, make sure you tell them you heard it on Northwest Brew Talk.
Okay, we'll be right back after a local music break from Brad Yaeger and the Night Terrors.
Winter has come. Sad while your hands close cold. Another man's touch. In the light of your eyes. That's why I tell you I'll lie in the cornfield. the corn. Stand with my gun by the light of the moon, letting you live, baby, 'cause you can't hide from your shame. That's why I tell you I lie in the corn.
That was In the Cornfields by Brad Yaeger and the Night Terrors. You can check him out at ReverbNation.com. If you want to have your music played on Northwest Brew Talk, contact us today. And now let's drink our second beer of the evening, made by Engine House Number 9, or E9. They're Tacoma's first brewery. They opened in 95, so they've been in the local beer community for quite some time. Open 7 days a week, and they welcome all ages. We're drinking their Amitie Tart Farmhouse Ale. Couldn't find a ton of information. Amitie is French for friendship.
Okay.
And
This is one of the cork and...
well, it's 6.7% ABV and an untapped rating of 4.05. So it's one of the...
I have to go get a... Okay. Got me a cork screw here. Let's see if this baby opens.
And this is bottle number 155 out of 588.
Ooh, there we go. Ooh, that's pretty good. Yes, and these are hand numbered, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool.
All right. Tart Farmhouse Ale.
Wish I could have found some more information here, but I'm excited to try it with an untapped rating so high. Usually they're all below 4.
Okay, this is almost the same color as the last beer.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a lighter, cloudy, golden, super big white head on it.
Absolutely.
Got some tart smell to
definitely smell that tartness there.
Oh, there you go. That is a sour beer.
And actually on the bottle...
Get some malt flavor.
Wow, yeah, definite malt flavor. On the bottle, it says it's a farmhouse ale aged in red wine barrels on multiple strains of Brett. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And
we found that we really like those beers. I mean, they're hard to find. Not a lot of people doing them, but when they're aged in the wine barrels, that gives it a real good flavor.
Yeah, that's crazy. You can really taste that on the back end there. You taste the malt. Mm-hmm. It just comes through. But it has a nice tart flavor. It's good. Yeah, we've tried a few of these different like that, and it's definitely a different kind of beer. It's not your typical stuff, but it's good. It's nice. Yeah, and there it is. It takes like 5 seconds, and then all of a sudden you taste that.
Well, yeah, and it lasts for quite a while. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Nice job. All right.
I want you to get me fresh beer. You serious? Now!
This week's Spotlight Indie Beer release is the Grapefruit IPA from Dick's Brewing, located in Centralia. The Grapefruit IPA is a rich, crisp, fruit-forward, dry-hopped IPA. 6.2% ABV, 80 IBUs, and an untapped rating of 3.94.
That is a pretty high one, too.
Yeah.
Nice. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Northwest Brew Talk.
Make sure to tune in next week when we'll have exclusive coverage of the Washington Brewers Festival.
Thanks to our sponsor, Micro Homebrew. This show is written and produced by Michelle Rizzo and myself.
If you want to contact us, feel free to email us at nwbrewtalk@gmail.com or find us on Twitter at nwbrewtalk. Our theme music is from Gilbert Neal. Feel free to check him out at gilbertneal.com.
Until next time, I'm Mike Rizzo.
And I'm Michelle Rizzo.
Stay hoppy, my friends. Is brewing these 3 new beers Brewers. Yep, that's only a third of the breweries, and that's how many there are. No.